There are legends, and then there are echoes that roar through centuries. Among them stands Gjergj Kastrioti, called Skanderbeg, the William Wallace of Albania, a man born of noble blood who rose not only through the ranks of the greatest empire of his time, but turned on it with a defiance so resolute it stunned sultans. Taken hostage as a boy, moulded into one of the empire's finest commanders, and then reborn as a rebel prince, he confronted the mighty Ottoman war machine head-on and delivered some of the most humiliating defeats in their imperial history. His tale is one of courage, cunning, betrayal, and brutal perseverance. Let us begin not in victory nor in fire, but in silence. A silence wrapped in the thick mountain fog of northern Albania, where a boy named Gjergj Kastrioti, later known as Skanderbeg, was born in 1405 into the noble House of Kastrioti. His father, Gjergj Kastrioti, was one of the most powerful Albanian lords of the time, ruling over vast territories in northern Albania, including the fortress of Krujë. Gjergj Kastrioti had submitted to the Ottomans in the early 15th century, likely during the reign of Sultan Murad II, and was forced to send his sons, including Gjergj, as royal hostages to the Ottoman court to ensure loyalty. Thus began Skanderbeg's long and reluctant relationship with the Ottoman Empire. As a child, he was taken to the Sultan's court in Edirne, where he was educated and converted to Islam. There, he received the name Skanderbeg, Lord Alexander, in deliberate homage to Alexander the Great. He was enrolled in the devy system, trained in military arts, Turkish culture, Islamic theology, and Ottoman administration. By the age of 20, Skanderbeg was serving as a high-ranking cavalry officer in the Ottoman army, participating in campaigns in Asia Minor and Europe. Skanderbeg quickly distinguished himself as a brilliant commander, known for his skill in tactics, logistics, and battlefield leadership. He played a key role in several Ottoman victories across Asia Minor and the Balkans. Notably, he took part in the suppression of revolts in Anatolia and helped secure Ottoman control over parts of Greece and Macedonia. His exploits during the campaigns in the Peloponnese and against rebellious Turkish beys earned him high praise and personal commendation from Sultan Murad II himself. These achievements were critical in the empire's efforts to consolidate power in newly acquired territories. His ability to both inspire troops and apply battlefield strategy made him one of the most respected provincial commanders in the Ottoman ranks. He was appointed Sanjak-Bey of Dibra, giving him administrative control over a significant region near his homeland. His military success earned him respect even among Ottoman elites. But beneath the polished surface of his Ottoman career, resentment simmered. He had not forgotten his roots. He had not forgotten Albania. The critical moment came in November 1443 during the Battle of Niš, where Christian forces under John Hunyadi dealt a blow to Ottoman troops in Serbia. Seizing the moment, Skanderbeg deserted the Ottoman army with about 300 loyal Albanians and made his way to Krujë. There, he forged a sultanic edict ordering the surrender of the fortress to him. The garrison, believing the document genuine, complied. The Ottoman commander of the fortress, along with his soldiers, had little choice but to surrender peacefully under the false authority of the Sultan. Historical sources indicate that the commander, stunned and humiliated by the ruse, was detained by Skanderbeg and later ransomed back to the Ottomans. Skanderbeg saw value in sending a message to the Sultan, not just through warfare, but through symbolism. Sparing the rank-and-file soldiers and showing clemency to the commander gave him an aura of both ruthlessness and statesmanship. Some Ottoman sympathizers were expelled, while others were quietly integrated or held for intelligence. The castle was immediately reinforced with loyal Albanian forces. This strategic act not only won him the fortress, but secured it without wasting a drop of Albanian blood. Skanderbeg reclaimed his ancestral seat, and on 28 November 1443, he raised the double-headed eagle flag above Krujë, a symbol of resistance that would become the national emblem of Albania. The Ottomans were stunned. Their own celebrated commander, groomed within their own ranks, had used the empire's structure and bureaucracy against them. And what followed was even more humiliating. Successive defeats at the hands of a man they had once called their own. On 2 March 1444, Skanderbeg convened the Assembly of Lezhë, uniting Albania's fractious nobles, including Leka Dukagjini, Andrea Thopia, and Pal Dukagjini, into the League of Lezhë. Though a loose military alliance, it was the first real attempt at Albanian unity. Skanderbeg was elected commander-in-chief and began organizing a standing army funded by member lords. The first major confrontation came in June 1444 at the Battle of Torvioll. A 25,000-strong Ottoman force under Ali Pasha clashed with Skanderbeg's army of 10,000. Skanderbeg used terrain, surprise, and discipline to rout the Ottomans. Over 7,000 enemy soldiers were killed. This defeat shook Ottoman confidence. For an empire that had, for centuries, mastered the art of defeating larger armies with leaner, more disciplined forces, from Kosovo to Nicopolis, it was a brutal inversion of their legacy. The Ottomans had built their name on strategic finesse, using cavalry, discipline, and tactical genius to humiliate larger crusading forces. But now, here in Albania, their advantage was shattered. Skanderbeg had reversed the rulebook. His smaller, fiercely motivated army was routing Ottoman legions. The bitterness in the Ottoman court was profound. It was not just a military setback. It was a spiritual insult to a power that had long seen itself as invincible. Ottoman chroniclers recorded the Sultan's reaction, disbelief and fury. One report quotes Murad II as lamenting that his finest generals had been outmatched not by a king, but by a traitor with a band of shepherds. Still, Western support was fickle. Pope Eugenius IV hailed Skanderbeg as Athleta Christi, champion of Christ, and King Alfonso V of Aragon signed a vassal treaty in 1451, pledging support. Yet political hesitation, Venetian suspicion, and shifting alliances left Skanderbeg to largely face the Ottoman storm alone. He also found himself at odds with the Republic of Venice, whose interests in the Adriatic clashed with his growing influence. Tensions escalated into open warfare in 1447, when Venice backed local rivals and sought to contain Skanderbeg's territorial control. Despite being pressured by two great powers, the Ottomans from the east and Venice from the sea, Skanderbeg defied both. He led successful raids into Venetian territories and negotiated a peace in 1448, gaining recognition and tribute. It was a rare diplomatic victory in a life defined by military ones. He was once their pride, now their nightmare. With a forged decree and a bloodless coup, Skanderbeg turned the weapons of empire against its masters and lit the first flame of a rebellion that would burn for decades. In a world ruled by sultans and popes, he carved his own path, uniting rivals, defying empires, and shattering the myth of Ottoman invincibility. Giant armies melted before his courage and cunning. What should have been easy victories for the world's mightiest empire became humiliating routes, crushed by a man fighting with fewer men, but far greater purpose. But what we've seen so far is only the prologue, because now the empire strikes back. In the next chapter of Skanderbeg, the Dragon of Albania, 100,000 Ottoman troops surround Krujë. The mountains will tremble, the siege will suffocate, betrayals will cut deeper than swords, and amid the fire and frost, the legend will be tested like never before. The dragon has risen. Part 2 is coming, and this time the war is total.